Hey Brent, welcome to the Community Living Golf Tournament. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll then go ahead and put you back in your dress position and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your dress position, let's first of all just take a look at your posture. We can see here your spine is straight and on a nice tilt. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. Arms are hanging down nice and naturally out in front of you. Club works out to the ball, so achieving some nice posture there in association with good balance. Next thing we want to observe has to do with your alignment. We can see that your feet are aimed out to the right. We'll carry that out towards the fairway. Theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines of camera would have an appearance of converging. So nonetheless, even with that conversion, would definitely set up out towards the right rough when the center of the fairway is sort of back over in this direction. Let's go ahead and do a little split screen comparison here between you and Brandt Snedeker. Now we got some color coded lines on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane, and we can see the postures are quite similar, but look at the alignment. We can see your feet again going way right compared to his. As we go ahead and take a look at the swing, simply want to initiate the takeaway by creating good shoulder rotation, drawing the arms and hands back as well as the golf club. And the club's coming back on plane directly along the red line. At this point in time, we're going to establish some good wrist hinge into play where we're transitioning the club head from below to above the hands, and then we're working the club from red up to yellow. When we finally set the club at the top of the backswing, the left arm and the club are situated on the yellow line. We have full shoulder rotation, and we do this about a stable right side, keeping the weight on the inside part of our right foot. As you go ahead and take a look at your takeaway here, you turn your shoulders very nicely, drawing your hands and arms back. Club does have a tendency of moving a little bit underneath the swing plane, but that's very common for some of you sets up in a closed stance. As we continue to carry this golf club back, we got to start to see some wrist hinge occur. So we're a little stiff wristed with the club at this point in time. And as we continue to take that club back, you're maximizing your shoulder rotation, which is great. On a stable right side, looks fantastic. You're rotating off of your axis of your spinal tilt that you created at address. But one of the things you definitely need to learn how to do is learn how to create wrist hinge during your backswing. We can see that your backswing is a little bit abbreviated and short. That's due to the fact that we haven't created club travel via creating wrist hinge. Okay, so very important. The other thing that wrist hinge does for you as well is allows you to create more power. So thinking about throwing a ball without cocking your wrist, it'd be like shot putting the ball. There's not going to be any snap or speed on the way through. As we go ahead and create our transition back into the ball, simply want to move our weight from our right foot to our left, fire our knees and our hips to the target, unwind our core and fire our hands. And in doing so, we want to make sure that we're bringing the golf club from yellow back down on top of red. And that's exactly what we see here with Brandt Snedeker. The golf club has returned right back to on plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is the relationship between the lead form and the golf club. We refer to this as retaining the angle. Right now the club head's remaining above and behind his hands. This is going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing, let alone being able to hit the ball straight due to the fact that the club has returned back to plane. Now with you, you're basically almost right on that position, so as long as you just drop your hands and arms, fire your knees and the hips, the club should be on plane, and that's precisely what you do right there. So at this point in time, we can take a look at your lead form. Actually, let me get rid of the arrow. We can take a look at your lead form and your golf club. We have your backwards check mark. So creating power in your golf swing won't be an issue, although you could hit the ball a lot further if you learn how to create better wrist hinge coming back, because then you'll be retaining more angle at this stage of the swing. The other thing we want to point out at this point in time is your club has fallen underneath your swing plane. So you're going to actually be attacking the ball a little too far from the inside. So let's go ahead and track these clubs coming into the ball. We can see with Brandt Snedeker, his club simply comes into the ball directly from on plane. This is ultimately what allows us to hit a straight golf shot in accordance to our alignment. With you, you're coming into the ball slightly from underneath your plane. It's certainly better than over the top, but the issue with attacking the ball from underneath your plane is if you don't square the club face up, you'll block the ball right. Now, there's a problem with that. The problem is that we already talked about your alignment, and your alignment is already aimed out to the right. So we're already set up to hit the right rough. You're coming into it from the inside. If you don't square that club face up, you're going to block the ball out to the right. So you definitely have to now impart a lot of right to left spin on that golf ball in order to get that ball hopefully back towards the intended target. If we shut that face aggressively, hopefully we can start it slightly inside of where we're aimed. The ball can get out in the air. We can have that right to left spin and we can work that ball back towards the intended target. So here we go through impact. Definitely see the face shutting down. The ball definitely doesn't go out to the right where you're aimed. You have the ability to sort of pull, draw, or pull hook that ball back online. We can see the trajectory is very low, and it's low due to the fact that you're smothering the ball at impact with a closed face, and that causes the club face to de-loft. Okay? As we continue to come through, you come through to a really, really good finishing position. Overall, you got some excellent athletic qualities with your golf swing. Your hands work really well back and through. They fire through great. You have good turn. You uncoil through. You carry yourself through to a pretty good finishing position there because you have some footwork. So everything looks really, really good. But three things we need in order to be really consistent and hit a ball straight and maximize our trajectory. We have to have good aim. We got to bring the club down on plane, and then we got to square the club face up. What we can see with you is basically we're setting up out to the right. We're bringing the golf club back very nicely. We do need to improve that wrist cock, and then at this point in time you're coming into the ball from a very good plane or slightly underneath, and now we got to flip the hands in order to get that ball online. Therefore, if you were to aim better, get yourself into a little bit more of an upright set position with better wrist hinge, that club would then fall back down on the plane. We'd be retaining more angle, we'd hit the ball further, it would be on plane in conjunction with good alignment, and we would hit the ball straighter and definitely on a much more consistent basis. But nonetheless, your golf swing looks really, really good, but if you do want to fine-tune these things, certainly feel free to reach out. I'm over at Glen Abbey in Oakville and be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, looking for a unique gift to provide to your guests, certainly feel free to touch base. Again, all my contact information is after the swing analysis, and be happy to discuss those services. Anyways, hope you had a great day. Hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Hope you have a great summer, and maybe we might hear from you. Take care.